this is the first part of the update. Got most of the bottom cleared out and cleaned, and now I gotta tackle this guy up here. I've got a bunch of stuff in here, and that's gonna get added to all of this mess, which is a disaster. A little bit more progress. Got the back 2x4s off the wall and starting to dismantle this lovely structure, which is proving to be more difficult than I thought. It's pretty decent construction, so there's lots of bolt through wood and lots of nails. Unfortunately, the top is rather difficult to even attempt to take off. So I got everything apart. As you can see, you can actually see the floor now. The tabletop was, I don't know, 1/4 inch. And then there was some kind of composite. It's not MDF, it's like some kind of particle board that was on top, which adds thickness to it. I was able to get part of it off, and the rest of it I couldn't. This was a disaster. There were so many nails along the top edge of the plywood, along the front edge of the table, that I had to just kind of bash it apart. And then I used my circular saw to cut in half, so I had a smaller piece to work with, and now I'm going to just hack this thing up. This piece is, the top is has so many nails going all along that front edge. I think I just need to cut probably along somewhere this line. You can see I started to cut down here and then ran into these splinters. I really need to take this outside. The dust is insane with this old wood, so I've got to hack this up. I was really close to keeping the whole top as one piece, which would have been nice to just kind of make new legs and raise it up to that height that I need, but that didn't happen. So I've got a lot of wood left over and some additional wood that was in a crate. I forget what I think it was a table for our porch that came in a crate where some of this wood was from. So I should have enough wood, and then there's a bunch of wood under here that I can use, and more support pieces over here. So I should be okay on the framing of this. But I thought for a little bit today that I would be able to salvage the whole top as one big piece, take the particle board off the top, but that kind of proved to not work. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the, well, two things. One thing was I really wanted to replace the plywood because it was just too beat up in spots, and I wanted to make sure that I had a level surface to start from. So the plywood was going to come off, and I was going to have the top frame, but the top frame got too torqued and tweaked when I was trying to rip off the plywood off the top. So those two things prevented me from keeping the top, but just as well, I have this large beam. This will probably serve as the front or back edge, top front or top back edge, along with one of those two longer pieces. So I've got enough wood. I just need to start chopping this up so I can get rid of it, and then cleaning up, and then kind of figuring out the space, and then constructing the removable part that'll go basically where these boards are, so I can get to the electrical box from the side. Trying to think what else I wanted to include in this short little update, but that's where it stands now. And you can see my basement is just a disaster. This is all trash wood that's not going to serve any purpose, and some of this stuff I'll be able to use. So yeah, that's pretty much where it stands now. So sit tight, and we'll get you on the next update when I get there. So the table is finished for the most part. I got the cabinets in under here, realigned the doors so they open. They were going to be too high. They were going to hit the inside of that. So those are all set. And I just finished painting everything so it looks a little bit more uniform. It's amazing what one white coat of paint will do. That's pretty much it. So I need to get the top, and then I need to make some kind of ledge out here, which a piece of plywood with the track can fit on this and just lift off and continue on to the rest of the table. So that is it. It's in good shape. I rewired some of the conduit, so I have a plug over here and attached the two other outlets over here. One's for the refrigerator. The other one's got a fuse on it, I think. I'm not sure, I guess a fuse. And that, I forget which one, it might have been the refrigerator one, was snaked through this 2x4 up here. It went behind the refrigerator and back over. So there's a lot of excess conduit behind there, which isn't the best, but for now it'll work. There was also a sever in part of the conduit, so I had to cut that. Should be safe for now. And I actually used a new outlet on that bottom box. So the refrigerator should be good now, and this cable or this power cord now reaches much better across to here, which isn't optimal. It still, you know, goes along the back behind, but that'll be under the table and I can fasten that and get that in better shape. But that's pretty much it. So the next update will hopefully have the top on here, and probably, if I can, the lift out portion as well. And so that will be it. So this will be the whole layout. And I'm still working on track plans for this section, whether I want two separate destinations or one combined one, I'm not really sure, but essentially these two outside tracks are going to curve. The curves will probably start back here and curve and then come onto this table. And again, I'm still working on track plans. I've got two that I really like, but just considering that once I do it, I'm going to be kind of stuck with the layout. I kind of want to make operations as creative and open-ended as possible. So I've still got a lot of track planning to do, I think. Even though in my mind it's done, I think to get the most out of my layout at this point, being that it's going to serve as an end-to-end, this being one end here, and it'll go around the back, and then this would be the other end here. Considering that's primarily the overall functionality of it, I need to kind of figure out the best design for this. And there's still a lot of scenic stuff that I want to have that I don't have on this other original portion, so I need to kind of figure out kind of the scenes I want and how I can work them into this area. It looks bigger on camera probably than it is in actual reality. I know one thing for certain, and I've already been designing around it, is to have a road go underneath the track, because I don't have that anywhere. I don't have a road going underneath, and where I live in Connecticut, there's a lot of those. So I need one of those in my layout somewhere, and that's going to probably be up at the top or the left half of the layout, where things are a little bit sparser with track, and down here it's going to be a little bit more occupied with track. The other thing I'm toying with is to have some kind of docking area with water, and that would probably be in this front portion here. If that's the case, I may have to cut out part of this 2x4 here to make it lower for water. So that's still to be determined, but those two things are in the works for a track plan. And that's about it. So thanks for sticking around, and hope you enjoy the progress of this. It took me a couple of days, but I'm pretty pleased with how it came out. There's still a little finishing up to do. I kind of want to fill in some of these holes and things, even though probably this will be covered with some kind of fascia at some point. I can't come much lower than this is, though, at least in this portion. Otherwise, these will not clear. You can see there's only probably a quarter of an inch, if that, clearance. So can't go too low, not like this portion here, but that's about it. So thanks a lot for sticking around, and we'll see you next time.